Well, now we switch our attentions to the north of England, where the rabbit population is going rampant. Well, 30 years ago, they did indeed curb the rabbit population by laying down myxomatosis chemicals on the land to kill off the rabbits. Well, it certainly had that effect. But 30 or 40 years on, the rabbit population is back to full strength. And here's a report now by the BBC's North of England correspondent.
The green fields of the Yorkshire Dales have a parched, burnt look. Lack of rain means grass is hardly growing. That bit which has is being eaten by millions of rabbits. And according to the region's sheep and dairy farmers, people in Britain's towns and cities don't understand the problems they face.
The little kids read about them, nice cuddly things, and they've got these furry rabbits. They've no idea about the damage they do. Terrible.
It sounds hard, perhaps cruel to some, but each morning and evening the Dales ring out to the blast of shotguns as attempts are made to cull the ever-increasing population. On this drive, Dales farmer Dennis Clarkson and a neighbouring gamekeeper hardly know which way to turn for rabbits.
Well, about 30 tonight, have we?
But we've seen a lot more.
Oh yes, I've seen a few hundred. Maybe near 1,000. They eat the grass and make a mess of it for cattle as well. It's a major problem.
Above Swaledale, another farmer, Terry Bailey, surveys the damage caused to his silage crop.
And this particular field we're standing in...
5 acres?
5 acres field, yes. Instead of being 70 tonnes of grass off it, there was only just over 40.
But you'll need that grass to feed your cattle and your sheep during the winter?
Oh, yes, we do. We need every blade we can lay our hands on, really. I'm going to have to buy that in, which is going to be maybe an extra bill of £500.
And it's not just in the fields where the rabbits have reached plague proportions. This is one of 2 main roads leading into Wensleydale, and the numbers of rabbits killed on the roads has to be seen to be believed. In fact, it's become so bad that several weeks ago, a woman wrote to the director of the national park here to say that her holiday in the Dales had been ruined by the carnage she had witnessed. Since I've been speaking to you, we've passed about 4 or 5 rabbits that have been killed in the last few days, just coming up to another one, 6. And then one across the other side of the road, 7, 8, 9, a freshly dead one there, 10. And all that in the space of just a few hundred yards. The regional secretary for the National Farmers Union is Ken Buck.
I think we've got to bring the case quite clearly to the ministry. They, in the past 10 years, have been reducing their staffing levels to deal with this sort of problem. They've regionalised. For instance, we have to refer to a man at Newcastle to deal with these problems, and he's covering an enormous area. So obviously there perhaps needs to be a bit more resource put into the ministry side of things to assist the farmers with this problem, because they have not got the resources to deal with it.
And that, say the farmers, should be done by old and well-tried methods. The reintroduction of rabbit clearance committees, which used to operate effectively during the days before myxomatosis. Those were the days of the professional rabbit catcher. Ron Usher used to be one, and though he says no one could make a living from catching rabbits today, traditional ways are still the best.
The old rabbit catcher used to get them down and didn't leave too many in the spring. That's the trouble now. They're not killed in the winter, and then as soon as they start breeding, there's a lot before they start. I will take my hat off to the rabbit. He hasn't got a friend in the world, has he? They're ferreting it, they're long netting it, they're snaring it, they're shooting it at night, they give it myxomatosis, the foxes killed them, the stoats killed them, the weasel killed them. He hasn't a friend in the world, and he's still winning. There's millions of them.
And that was Kevin Bouquet reporting, our North of England correspondent.